Hey everyone, good evening. We're getting ready for even more rain, more thunderstorms, fire weather conditions that are going to be at dangerous levels, and a huge cool down. All this happening through this weekend and into next week. So let's take a deep dive into your most reliable forecast, starting off with what it looks like right here and right now. Some ominous clouds out there, but also areas where we have a little bit of clearing. You can see that in the Lake Billy Chinook as well as the Hoodoo cameras. But ultimately here, in the last 12 hours, we've had several lightning strikes, more than 300 of them across our Tri-County area, 346 to be exact. And some of these thunderstorms, like the one that's just to the southeast of Bend, I've gotten reports of a little bit of hail from that. Some small hail, I believe. But look at this, in the last 24 hours, it's been more like 800 lightning strikes because of yesterday's thunderstorms as well. So even when we go ahead and take a look at what's happening right here and right now, we still have that one cell that's fizzling out just to the east of Bend, and a couple more. One working its way towards Powell Butte just south of Sisters, and one of them right over the Sandy Ann Pass. So these thunderstorms are scattered, but we are looking at abundant lightning. We've already had nearly 400 lightning strikes here across the high desert in the last 24 hours. So there is a red flag warning in place until 11 p.m. this evening. Now, when we look at the bigger picture, this is all part of what we call a plume of moisture just working its way right into the Pacific Northwest, coming from the Four Corners region. And this moisture is giving us the instability we need for thunderstorm development. So we are not done, because that little low up there that's right over southeast Washington, that's going to fizzle out, leaving this moisture behind. And what that means for us is we have multiple days in a row where midday and afternoon thunderstorms are expected to develop, grow a little bit stronger, then fizzle out around and after sunset. And when we look at the infrared satellite imagery, threw an enhancement on there so we could really pick out those tall clouds over central Oregon. We have the tall clouds, and going south along this plume of moisture, there is a lot of potential energy, and that potential energy is going to come our way. And that lasts through the day tomorrow and even into Sunday and Monday, even with this cooling trend that we're expecting. So when we go ahead and look at a few more cameras, these are all courtesy of the Oregon Hazards Lab out of the University of Oregon, and some of them are pointed at different fires, others are just showing some smoke, some haze, and in the Hinkle Butte camera you can see some of those thunderstorms off in the distance. So when it comes to air quality, both the hourly average and the real-time sensors from East Base Labs are showing good to moderate air quality. This is due in part to the showers that we're getting. The thunderstorms that we're getting are helping to clear the air. But we're not done. We still have 3 different fires, and there's a new one, the Black Rock Fire, which is in southeastern Wasco County. It really got on our map yesterday, and already it's up to 3,900 acres. The Marks Creek Fire is up to 1,900 plus acres, and the Immigrant Fire is about 31,000 acres. So we have significant development with each one of these fires. Now, the Marks Creek Fire hasn't been growing that much, but we still have several hot spots that are satellite derived. And it's burning to about 16 miles to the east-northeast of Prineville. And when we dive in and take a closer look, we can see that some of those hot spots are indeed outside of the perimeter. Now, when it comes to evacuation zones for this fire, we haven't seen much change at all since we got the evacuation zones Wednesday morning at about 10 o'clock. There's a red, a level 3 go now evacuation from the Highway 26 corridor down to Ochoco Creek Road. On the outside of that, there's a level 2, and on the outside of the level 2, there's a level 1 be ready evacuation. So we still have some evacuation zones in place, and we are still tracking several different fires. But let me actually go ahead and back up real quick. We're going to go back to that, and we're just going to check a few other things. I'm going to zoom out, and it looks like there is another fire further out, further way off to the east, that has a couple level 2 and level 1 evacuations. This is the Bridge Fire in eastern Oregon, and we're continuing to track that one, just not as closely as some of the others that we're tracking. But when it comes to smoke, we're not catching smoke from the Bridge Fire. However, the 3 fires surrounding Central Oregon and inside Central Oregon, those are providing smoke. So periods of smoke, times of poor air quality are expected. And look at this, even by Friday, 5 p.m. with winds that are going to be a little shifty through the day, some of the smoke from the Bridge Fire does make it our way. Just most of what we're being impacted by are the 3 fires that are a little more local to the Tri-County area. So we're not done with it yet. And the good news is that relative humidity is not too bad. Typically Usually this time of the year we see teens at even single digits. Right now ranging from 57% humidity, and Bend all the way to the low one is 17 in Paulina, so that is a little dry out there, but ultimately we are looking at more precipitation, higher humidity values, falling temperatures, but there will be some thunderstorms. Now the last 24 hours we had 90s for the most part with a few triple digits. Most of these are holdovers from yesterday. Currently our temperatures are in the 70s and 80s with a few 90s on the map. Now before thunderstorms started we did get into the lower 90s for a good portion of the Tri-County area, and the forecast high for today was 89 degrees. We got that and even added a degree or two, but now we're running between 4 and 18 degrees cooler than 24 hours ago, except for Paulina at 9 degrees warmer than it was this time yesterday. Now here through this evening and tonight we fall out of the 70s through the 60s and into the 50s. So starting off tomorrow a little cooler than it was today, and this cooling trend will be well underway with highs only reaching into the 80s with a few 90s and 70s still possible. So for our weekend, Saturday, we get a dip in temperatures, more thunderstorms are expected, winds are going to be breezy for most of the high desert, especially around that thunderstorm activity. By Sunday, even cooler. We're looking at 70s, which actually puts us below average for this time of the year. The average high is 82 degrees, and each day going forward through this weekend and beginning on Monday, we're looking at more thunderstorm activity. Now Tuesday and Wednesday, some showers are still expected. We could catch a few thunderstorms, but that thunderstorm potential is going down with our temperatures, and we're falling out of the 80s through the 70s and into the 60s early and mid part of next week. And that puts us well below the average high of 79 in Bend and 82 in Redmond, and it actually puts us about 10 degrees cooler than average. So our forecast model is going to show us when and where we can expect some of that rain. Spoiler alert, midday and afternoon hours as we go forward. So our forecast model does show overnight some clearing is expected. By Saturday at noon, showers with a few thunderstorms already on the map. Some thunderstorms are expected through the rest of the afternoon and the evening, then some clearing overnight, but also still some lingering showers Saturday night going into Sunday. By Sunday afternoon, a few thunderstorm cells. And then by Monday, this next system rolls in that really starts to bring us even more moisture, setting us up for more showers and the potential of some thunderstorms. Now, let's look at the extended forecast model. This is the GFS. Not as high resolution, but it goes out a lot further, and it's going to help paint the picture of what's really going to happen next week. So starting off Monday at 11 p.m. when we've already gotten some of those showers, and then by Tuesday, less of a chance of rain, but still some afternoon showers morning and afternoon showers are expected. By Wednesday, a little bit of rain, but not too much. But look at Thursday, look at Friday. A whole lot of sunshine, in and out cloud cover, and this is when our next rebound for temperatures really takes shape. So going forward through Sunday at 11 p.m., most of us are going to get wet. We have scattered thunderstorms expected, and that fire danger is going to be elevated. Here's how it plays out. Tonight and early tomorrow morning, we still have a few of these thunderstorms to go through. Most of that is through the rest of this evening. By Saturday afternoon, some additional showers and thunderstorms, and that continues through Sunday. So by the time it's all said and done, we're not talking about huge rainfall totals, but we are talking about this potential for daily thunderstorm chances. Now, wind gusts aren't too bad, about 15 to 20 miles per hour for most. Actual wind speeds or 5 to 15 miles per hour, except for where you see the green. That's where it's 20 plus miles per hour, and that's mostly around thunderstorm activity. Now through tonight, a light breeze is expected. By Saturday, mostly a light breeze until you see some of those thunderstorms, breezy at times. And Sunday, the wind profile really doesn't change too much. So after thunderstorms fizzle out this evening, temperatures fall back into the 50s with a few 40s and 60s, and some lingering showers stay with us until about midnight. By Saturday, we're looking at 80s for the most part. Some 70s and a few 90s are expected. Then going forward through the 7-day planner, we go from the 80s through the 70s into the 60s. That is the big headline. We're still going to be wet. We still have a chance of thunderstorms Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And then with falling temperatures, that potential for thunderstorm activity drops. By Thursday and Friday of next week, rebounding temperatures are expected. And ultimately, here's a look at your weekend headlines for Friday, September the 5th. We're talking a big pattern shift on the way. Thunderstorms are still expected this evening and the next couple of days. Winds could get gusty around these thunderstorms, and we're cooling from the 90s, low 90s today, into the 60s by the time we get to Tuesday and Wednesday. And one more reminder, there is a red flag warning until 11 p.m. this evening. That's the latest in weather. Join us tonight on Central Oregon Daily News. We'll have the latest headlines and news and more of your most reliable forecast. We'll see you then.